Announced that wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. played through a quote-unquote nagging wrist injury in Sunday's loss to the Bengals. The star wideout is catching major slack for his efforts against the Bengals as he caught just 4 of his 12 targets for 49 yards. It's 85 degrees at 2 o'clock time in Temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Y'all thought we were going to start with Jaguars football, but absolutely not. We're starting with the backyard brawl. We're going to throw everyone for a curveball. Aaron Beasley in the house. And yes, West Virginia beat Pitt over the weekend. Massive rivalry in college football.
Oh, it is. I mean, I won't say it on radio, but
yeah.
If you ever listen to Sweet Caroline, they don't say the right words. With Eaton, Pitt.
Oh.
I'm talking about the whole stadium. And I'm
nice.
I love that.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I'm from Philly area, so, you know, I root for all the Philly teams, but I'm not one of those fans, though, you know?
Right.
You get the same reputation. That's West Virginia against Pitt. It is, like, ferocious.
Yeah. Well, at West Virginia was always tough. We played down there a couple times, man. It was a tough crowd. You guys were always good and physical team, and that turf had that sand in it, and it would burn you. And when you go into the shower, it would just burn like crazy. It was awful. I don't know what was in that turf, but, man, if you got any turf burns at West Virginia, it was pretty nasty. Pretty nasty.
Interesting, because I feel like that had to be one of the first turf fields that was outdoors.
I mean,
I don't know. BC was always turf outdoors,
Pitt
but maybe.
Pitt had it bad, too.
Yeah, that's true.
We had, like, a big bowl on our field, though, so... You know, it was like when we did sprints, you were running up
and then down.
Back down.
Right. For the drainage.
Yep.
Yeah. Old school. The Big East, man. There was a lot of good football back then. A lot of good football players. A lot of guys that played in the league, you know, that had great careers just all over. You know, from Miami to Pitt to West Virginia, BC, Syracuse.
V-Tech was always tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
What was the song they played in there?
Enter Sandman, baby.
That was electric.
Yeah.
My first start ever. I didn't know that was coming. You know?
Oh, wow. That'd be fun.
Interception, though. First game ever.
Hey, that's pretty.
So maybe that pumped you up too.
impressive.
You're like, this is fun.
Absolutely.
And your recruiting story, you were telling us off air right before the show started, as far as you were recruited to Pitt.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of cool, too, because now that I got another layer to the story. Well, I went on a visit, and I didn't sign that day. I was one of them guys. I was like, I'm going to take all my visits. I was at a military school. I need to get out of these barracks. And, you know, I signed with West Virginia. I almost signed with Boston College. I was almost up there at T-Mac.
Yep.
And my class is the first to win 4 straight games against Pitt. And that, like, the extra layer is who sent out Dan Marino? That's a Pitt guy versus West Virginia guy.
Oh, yeah.
Think about that.
Absolutely. No doubt. You were actually, here's a little inside story. So Bees was on a trip when I was a 4th or 5th year senior. You came to BC. I was in a cast.
I remember.
Right? And I had a wig on. Right? It was Halloween or something.
Like
We were doing upside down keg stands or something crazy. Yeah, something else like that.
Sound like you at all.
No, not at me. No. I was watching.
Did you redshirt your freshman year?
Yeah, so my fit,
everyone back then redshirted their freshman year. So nowadays this is unheard of.
Yeah. No, right. It's like, can I play now? Right?
Correct,
Yeah, no, we were all redshirted and scout teamers and all that fun stuff. But
I played as a true freshman.
You did.
And here's the thing. I didn't want to, but I was so competitive at practice. My coach was like,
got to get him out
after
there.
the first game, I just, dressed and I went to the hotel. I wanted to hang with all my freshman buddies and go out and hang in West Virginia. He took me and I kind of walked off at the game like, man, if you ain't going to play me, redshirt me. I guess they had a plan.
It worked out. It worked out good, no doubt.
That's, I think, one of those underrated things is that you did take official visits in multiple places. I feel like with the way that recruiting is now, some kids feel like almost forced to sign the moment that they get to a college campus because of all the crazy portal stuff that, the schools are bringing in guys that have already played football. And then, of course, there's 5 stars coming in, too. And so I think there is that peer pressure of you better sign now. But I'm glad you didn't, and you got to explore some other places. And you eventually ended up where you needed to be.
Yeah. I was
Yep.
going Big East regardless.
Yeah.
I'm a Northeastern. I like cold weather and football.
And football.
It's kind of sad now. There is no Big East.
Yeah.
When it
No,
comes to-
it's not. It's gone. Yeah.
college football.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you, because you said on off air too that you didn't sign that day, so they took the scholarship away, and that's when you decided to go. Was it immediate? Okay, I'm going to West Virginia.
It wasn't.
No?
Oh, man. I did like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, actually. 'Cause I felt Syracuse, Boston College, and West Virginia.
Okay.
Coach Coughlin was actually there, and he cussed me out.
Sounds about
Told him I
right.
was
He
coming.
was mad.
Well, you know the story, Jay Fun. Jay, I was going to fill in for Jay.
Right.
He already kind of had me as a starting free safety. And I don't know. I just wanted to play corner for some reason. Now I wish I would have played safety. But, I mean, it worked out. He ends up coming and he drafts me, and I didn't even know they were going to draft me. Like, he didn't have any contact with my agent or anything. Then I got the call from him. And, you know, it was pretty exciting.
Why do you? Oh, go ahead, Tom.
No, you go ahead.
I was just say, why do you wish now you played safety when you were a successful corner in the league?
I just feel like
He's a ball
my
hawk.
instincts were made for safety, but it was a time where corners at that time were averaged on like 5'8", 5'9", and a lot of bigger receivers were coming in. I mean, we had Carl Pickens in our division, and it was like I actually I had followed him the whole game that game,
Yeah.
and you know it was just bigger corners.
Yeah.
And just because
Dave Thomas was a big corner. Remember Dave?
6'3",
DT. He was
6'4".
big guy. Yeah. Yeah. You could have played. Did you play safety towards the end of your career?
In Atlanta, I played
Okay.
safety.
I thought you did. Yeah.
Oh, and that's when I was like, man, this is what I
Should have done
should've
this the whole time.
Yeah.
Because, like, speaking of Big East, you know, we used to go to Miami once in a while.
Yeah.
And I'll go down there, and I didn't know who Ed Reed was. I knew who he was, but he comes up, he's like, man, I'm about to break your interception record. I was hyped, bro. I'm like, "Don't do it, bro." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like he went, I don't think he broke it, but he tied me or something. That was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
For him to, like, see.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like-
yeah, no doubt.
So he studies
One
the
of the
game.
best ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no question about it.
And he played at a time when safeties could play a little differently
Yeah,
than
yeah,
maybe
no
safeties
doubt.
can play
No
now.
doubt.
All right,
Yep.
so that leads us certainly right into the drama surrounding Brian Thomas Jr. and how he played in the game on Sunday. It left a lot of people questioning, obviously, the quote-unquote hospital balls that people are saying that Trevor Lawrence is throwing. I feel like if you watch any NFL game, a quarterback throws a ball into traffic at times, and the receiver, or the tight end, or the running back, whoever's catching the football, is going to get hit at some point in time, like I said, in an NFL game. But how did you see it, Bees?
Something mentally is going on.
Okay.
You know? Because I did see some people get lit up across the middle. And, you know, they made the catch, and that's the thing, man. You gotta be professional up there. You're gonna take hits. You're gonna get injured. I mean, hopefully he's not thinking about that, because if you're thinking about that, that's why you have drops. You know, you're thinking about the wrong things, because it's a game of like trusting all your abilities, and it's like there's a lot of doubt going on, and that's what I see.
Yeah. I watched the tape again today because I just wanted to really just the offensive side and really just his plays and just going over them. Look, the three contested plays we're talking about, the one where he didn't go over the middle and tipped an interception, and then the two, one in the end zone and then one before the end zone. But they're all three the same play. It's the same route, and it's against zone every single time. And every single time, right when he breaks, he's open. He's so open. And if he just puts it on him, it's touchdown. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have gone across the middle, and I'm not disputing what B said. You do have to do it in that situation. I think that he's frustrated. I really do. I think he's frustrated that the ball is not where it needs to be at the right time. And I think we saw the frustration in camp. He was getting frustrated
saw
with
that.
his play. Now, it's not all on Trey. They got to figure it out, because it's part receiver, part QB when you're working on timing.
Yes.
Like, you got to have those conversations. Like, man, right as you're cutting, I'm going to give you the football. And I'm going to give it to you on your upper number and right in your arm, right in your chest. And it's going to be great. You got to have these conversations, because both times, especially when they're near the end zone, he's drifting. Then he throws it. Then there's like two defenders right there. Now, I want to throw this out there, because, and I agree exactly what you're saying, but let's throw it the other way. Let's throw something out there. So, when you're a QB and you know that team's in zone and you got a short crosser, you got to know what zone they're in, right? If it's cover 2 and you sent your X way deep, there's probably most likely the corner's gone in that zone. But if it's cover 3 or cover 4, there's a backside player just sitting there waiting for you to come across the middle.
Yep.
And if you wait too long with that football, you are going to get your receiver hurt. You heard Tom Brady talk about it in a video, I think, last offseason. He's like, it's our job to know that we can't, and Mike Evans even said, he's like, yeah, man, I go across the middle. I'm never worried because Tom's never going to put me in a position where I have to worry about getting my head taken off. I'm not saying he shouldn't have gone and tried. He should have tried harder to go get that ball. Maybe he did make a business decision because let's be honest here. If he makes the catch and gets drilled and something happens to him, we'd all be bitching about Trevor leading him into the coverage. Because if he puts it on his body right as he turns, he's nowhere near those two defenders that are just sitting there waiting for him.
Yeah, it's interesting to me, Taylor, when you go back and you watch Brian Thomas Jr. highlights from last year, like the moment that anyone was near him, he would fight those guys off, and he didn't worry at all about the coverages to me. But maybe it's going back to that training camp frustration of, I've asked you to put the ball here over and over and over again. I'm better than you in terms of, like, I'm one of the better receivers in the league. You're not one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, I wonder, because there were times last year where it felt like he was better when somebody was on him. When he had that contested somebody on him pushing, like he caught the balls, and then times when he was more wide open, it would drop. Because he had drops last year, too. It wasn't like they didn't exist. So, but then yesterday, you see the contested, you see guys on him, and I'm not catching that moment. Then you're seeing the wide open. So you're seeing both. But what does that conversation look like when Trevor's probably saying, you've got to catch it, I'm putting it where it's a catchable ball, and he's saying, but you need to throw it a little quicker. How is that solved?
You work on it in practice, and you talk it through.
Yeah.
And now listen, the one where even though it was late, he has to catch that football.
The one on the sideline.
No, in front of the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, just catch it and fall down. You got to catch that football.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that he could have hit him earlier, but whatever. He didn't. Still hits him in the hands, just like Diami, the play before. My gosh, Diami's open and hits him right in the hands, and it's just being right off his hands. That hurt too, But it's just going over it and getting comfortable with that and that timing. Look, even during camp there was always that talk of Trevor not throwing on time. He wants him to throw it quicker. He doesn't want him to wait till he's open. He wants to throw it as he's getting open. It's a hard thing to get through, or get to consistently, confidently, and without even thinking about it.
Because you're afraid to throw interceptions at the same time because you've thrown too many interceptions in your career,
too. Well, you're throwing to a spot where nobody is, and you're like, well, I hope he gets there.
That's what I mean.
But you have to,
in the back of his mind, he's like, don't turn the ball over, don't turn the ball over. All right, we will keep this conversation going. On the other side, you are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
There's a key that opens a very special door. The Jaguars locker room. Go in the locker room with Hayes Carlyon to get closer to the Jags. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Frank Frangie telling you about Awaken 180. My daughter has done so well. I'm so proud of Amber. Can you believe she's lost 50 pounds in 2 months? And she's really proud of that. You can as well. Call 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. It's a sauce kind of football season with Chick-fil-A chicken strips. Each crispy, juicy bite only gets better when you choose your favorite sauces to dip into and create your own flavor combinations. Will it be sriracha and ranch, honey and buffalo, barbecue, and Chick-fil-A sauce? With 21 different sauce pairings possible, it's easy to go on a flavor adventure. Order in a 4-count, 10-count, or in a catering tray. Get an order started today in the Chick-fil-A app and dip on in.
Helmets and Heels.
Protected by
Green Law Group. For the insured. Fighting for you.
Reclaim a pain-free life with Rebound Rehab. If you've been injured or simply feeling the effects of an active life, you can rely on Rebound Rehabilitation to get you back in the game. Sitting on the sidelines isn't any fun. Trust Rebound Rehab's team of trained physical therapists to get you back up to speed and feeling full again. Now more convenient than ever. 11 locations to serve you, including new offices in Riverside across from St. Vincent's, Point Meadows, and Middleburg. Just log on to reboundrehab.com to see all they've got to offer.
If you have cane fever, you'll get your weekly dose of Miami football on the Hurricane Report.
I'm JJ LaSelva. This season, I'll keep you close to Coral Gables with the Hurricane Report on 1010XL.
Proudly protected by Performance Painting.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? You have questions? Call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700. Office is Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out. You need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TerMinix.com. That's right, Terminix it.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for coming over so quick.
Sure thing, pal. What's the big... Whoa!
See, I told you there was a smell.
Yeah, it smells like...
Exactly, or a dead one more like it.
You need some fresh air in here.
Well, this is the problem, Jason. I've kept everything sealed up tight all summer long so I don't lose all my nice cool air. Now all the dog smells and cooking smells and home gymnasium man cave smells are all building up and I can barely...
Dude, where are the Bueller sunglasses I gave you?
Oh, I don't know. They must be in my other...
Put on my emergency pair. Whoa. Bueller Air and Plumbing can install an air purification add-on to your existing air conditioner. Clean the air of dust and pollen and funky smells while you cool.
So I can keep all the cool air I saved up?
And your place won't smell like a dead...
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
RJ takes cues. Now it feels like we're in Blacksburg, Virginia.
This is for you.
Beast
This
has
is for
no
you.
headphones, but it's Enter Sandman by Metallica.
Bad memories.
No, you got to pick in this game.
But I never won.
Oh, dang. Now we have stirred up very bad memories. I do have a schedule question for y'all. During the season, what time do you get to the building? What time do you leave? And I don't mean on the Tuesdays that you're off, but the other, like the Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. What time would you arrive? What time would you leave?
About 6:30 because we usually have a
6:30 a.m. Okay.
Wednesday and Thursday. Monday was whenever you wanted to get in there before noon.
Yeah.
Right.
Depending on
we
when
had
we
to
won or
run.
lost. You
Right.
know?
Yeah. True. If we won, sometimes we got Monday off too.
Okay.
Yeah. That wasn't a lot. Though.
That was fun.
No, the thing is, we were
Sunday, Monday off.
What was our record?
Tuesday.
We were 13-1 and lost to Tennessee, and we went back to full pads.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That surprises
Different
no
one.
one.
Yeah, different time.
Thanks to Tom Coughlin.
So it depends on the day. Monday, probably like, 8:30, 9, get out of there by, it depends. If you lost, you had to watch a lot of film as a team, and they'd keep you there for a while. It's kind of a longer, like maybe 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Tuesday off. Wednesday was early, like B said, 7 o'clock meeting. And then we're there all day. We don't eat dinner there. We didn't, but you're home for dinner maybe.
Okay.
Thursday, same time in the morning, but you're done a little bit earlier. Yep. And then Friday, a little bit later in the morning, like 8:30, but you're done around 12:30. And then you're either traveling the next day or you're going to go to the hotel the next day. So
and then in addition to all those hours, you're also putting in time at home.
Oh, yeah. Watching film.
Yeah.
I mean, even in those...
Tom's like, it's not as much.
Running in the sand. Well, we didn't listen back then. We had maybe VHS. We had that.
Yeah, you didn't have the tablets.
No, you didn't have any of that stuff. Yeah. But I was always doing extra like physical kind of stuff. Like I'd go to the gym again, the Sportsplex back in the day. I used to love that place at the beach. Or go to my friend Tellis's house and work on my hands and flexibility. He was a taekwondo and kung fu guy and boxing guy. Just that kind of stuff.
I used to play Madden and watch my opponent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to in '98. I was in Madden, like I was a starter in Madden. So I'd play I'd be all right. Now, granted, I'd blitz all the time and have like 6 sacks. Like that's not going to happen. But it was always against the team that I was going to play, and it was always Thursday night. I always wanted to do it on a Thursday night. So
unless you were playing on a Thursday night, right?
Yeah, we didn't play.
Oh, that's
Thursdays
right. There wasn't a Thursday night football back then.
Did you play as your team, or did you want to play against you?
I never played with my team. I
Okay.
was like, I'm not using me.
Yeah, I did. It's the only chance I had. My 15 minutes of
He's
fame.
living in Madden world. But my friends would always be like, "Yo, you were the Super Bowl MVP. You got all these interceptions." I was like,
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so let's circle back to Trevor Lawrence. I think there's a huge conversation going on right now in Jacksonville, and that is some people place all the blame on Trevor, some people place all the blame on BTJ, and then there's obviously the gray area, which is it's some on Trevor, it's some on, and it's not just Brian Thomas Jr., like you mentioned, De'Ami Brown with the drop too. How does, like to Taylor's question, how does this offense get fixed? Besides them working on things in practice, is there going to be a timing issue all season long, or can they fix this in season?
I think they can fix it in season. They can fix it really quick, to be honest with you. Look, there were some really good throws and catches and routes and everything.
And some really bad throws.
Yeah, we were talking in the break. I mean, he threw, even early on, he went to his first two throws, a slant to Brian Thomas and then a dig to Brian Thomas. And then he didn't go to him for a little bit after that and then came back. By the way, it was 4 of 11. Someone threw out 4 of 19. He did not throw to him 19 times. It was 11 times, which is a lot.
I think it's
a lot
5
of targets.
5 catches on 19 targets through the first 2 games.
Oh,
is
first
the
2
stat,
games,
yeah,
okay.
Overall, because he had just the 1 catch.
Okay,
Even
I
though he
read
had
that.
the
I
touchdown,
read that
but that
wrong.
was obviously a rushing touchdown in the first 2.
So it's there, I think it's just they got to continue to work on that timing and that communication. Later in the game, fourth quarter, they do there's a back shoulder throw, and Brian doesn't stop or turn or anything. And then I'm panning the sideline, and I see Cohen looking at Trevor going, his arms are like this. Like, what? So I don't know if he audibled out of the run. Remember, we heard that yesterday. So maybe that, or what are you doing? Because Brian never even, stopped his stride. His head didn't even look. And all of a sudden, the ball's zipping by. So there's miscommunication there. Now, that can happen. It's not like the end of the world. You'd rather have it happen week 2 than later in the season. So you can work on that. You got to know, look, and Bees can tell you better than I can, but typically if the DB's on your hip, you're throwing it out in front of him. If he's even with you, you're going to throw it on that back shoulder or, more on his body. Does that make sense? That's 30,000-foot view, right? There's more intricacies than that, but in that kind of sense. So can you work on that? Absolutely, you can work on that, and it can get better.
If he sees your back, he throws it forward. If he sees your side, he throws it behind you.
There you go.
Basically.
Yeah.
If you're even, like you said.
Yeah.
But a lot of it really is the timing. That can be fixed. And maybe because we didn't see him running those routes the first game anyway, that he wasn't used to coming across that middle. But now, you just got to throw it earlier to me. Everything has to be a little bit quicker. That fraction of a second is big up there. And I feel like a lot of it is he's reading, and over-reading. Because when you're in a zone and you keep running, there's a guy waiting, like you said.
Eventually, they're going to be there.
I should have brought my board.
Yeah,
we just keep saying that. We've got to actually.
I have it in the car.
I was thinking about that.
But when you play 3 deep, you have 4 underneath guys, and the corner and the safety, they're just playing over top, and guys see that, they get their width, and then they get your eyes right back to the quarterback. So the best defensive players in zone always have their eyes on the quarterback, and they play with body position. Get to your zone, get your eyes back to your quarterback, and then make the play. And I'm sure he could see this guy coming. I done knocked a couple people out doing that. I'll probably be fine a lot playing. But he sees it coming, and, it is a business decision if you think about the long run. You either, because we did see some guys last night. I seen a couple guys get hit coming across the middle.
Yeah.
Baker threw one very low. Yeah.
But they made the catch.
Yeah.
And that's all mental. That's the mentality of certain guys.
I did tell a story last time. My Kelsey was very interested in this whole conversation. I said, one time we're in a full scrimmage at BC, and it's live tackling to the ground, and I couldn't believe the quarterback threw it. But I'm in a backside zone, and here comes the receiver, and I'm just going to kill him. And I didn't really kill him. I just kind of went like that. But I caught him right under the chin, and his 2 front teeth went blink. You saw him on film hit the ground, and he's looking for him right away. And I'm talking to him man, Keith, I'm really sorry, man. It's
his front.
But that's the point. And today you can't do that today, right?
Yeah.
You knocked the teeth out of Keith.
Knocked the teeth out of Keith.
But he got him back in.
He's like, Keith, I'm so.
He got him eventually fixed.
I feel like he has some fake ones after that.
Keith should switch to hockey at that point in time.
If you're losing the teeth.
Yeah.
I saw there was two tweets I saw that stood out. The first one, which we've kind of talked about today when it comes to Trevor Lawrence. So Trevor Lawrence's catchable target rate to BTJ is only 43.4%, which would be last among wide receivers. To anybody not BTJ, to the rest of the group, it's 87.5%, which would be number one in the league if you were just counting those guys out of BT. But then I saw another one, too, breaking down the Lawrence when throwing to Brian Thomas Jr. or Travis Hunter. He only has a 14 passer rating, 3.5 yards per attempt, 42 completion percentage, 0 touchdowns, 3 picks when throwing to those two guys.
Yeah, the picks have been, I think, fairly obvious, especially with Travis Hunter, at least 2 out of those 3. Yeah, I wonder if Liam Cohen is designing plays to get the ball to Brian Thomas Jr. because in week 1 he only had one catch, and like I said, he had the rushing touchdown, but only the one catch.
Yep.
And so, yes, this is your star receiver. Travis Hunter eventually may be a star receiver, but right now your wide receiver 1 is Brian Thomas Jr., and that's why it felt a little bit forced, and then it exposed even the lack of timing.
Yeah, and listen, and the placement's off a little. That's why Liam got frustrated. That's why he's like, come on, man, just hit his body. You don't have to throw it up here. He's sitting down there in the zone. You don't have to make this great throw. Just put it on his body, right? And there's times where he could have done that on other throws. So look, again, it's just the timing, right? It's just it being able to like for instance, like if De'Ami Brown's going to sit down in that zone, you're throwing the ball before he turns,
right?
But you have to have that confidence that A, you're going to put it in the right spot, and B, he's going to catch it, right? Those plays I was talking about earlier, right as he turns, right as he cuts, if you throw it before he cuts, it's a catch, and it's uncontested. Some of those throws, when it's on timing like that, you can't defend them if they're put in the right spot, right?
Every day.
You can't defend them. They're very hard to defend.
Jake Browning to Jamar Chase, or Jake Browning to T. Higgins.
Or that guy in the, he got the knee in. That was a perfect throw. He put it in the right spot.
He threw it before he was even ready.
Right. So how is Jake Browning able to do this, and our guy who's been the starter not able to do it? I think that's some of the frustrating part, right?
I think so.
And I also wonder, has it been too much change for Trevor? And I know people are going to say it's year 5. Okay, put the other 4 years to the side, at least for right now. They changed his footwork, so he's already thinking about that. They no longer let him use the wristband, which we talked about yesterday. That means he should learn the playbook better. Okay, but now you're talking about a guy who's used to getting a play call or a number of the play called in. Look at his wristband. He had different footwork before. Now he's got new wide receivers because, again, he didn't play all season long, obviously, last year. He hadn't played in a while. He's got the new offensive line, the whole system. And I just wonder, and again, I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm just wondering, is that what we're seeing early in the season? Is there's just a heck of a lot of change?
Maybe.
Well, then my question then goes to, why is Parker and De'Ami and Britton Strange? Why is it their timing better? Is Trevor better timed with them, or are they doing a better job?
Right.
That's where the question comes in.
Okay, so the one catch, that beautiful catch, why does he have to jump for it?
Who?
Parker.
Yeah.
It's a 7th round. Like, why does he have to stop, turn, jump up, and I don't know. I don't really know that answer. Why that's not happening?
So I agree with what you said about Browning, right? Because Browning doesn't have the strongest arm,
right?
But he has a smart and quicker
processing,
and that could be the thing. Because
but he hasn't even been the starter and taking the first team reps with the offense.
Yeah, he was a starter in college.
Yep.
He played well in college.
He played well in 2023 when Burrow got hurt.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He got rid of the ball in time.
Yep.
I mean, when you throw the ball to the spot on time, you have a better chance of making that play.
Yep.
I mean, we have the guys that can beat one-on-one coverage
all day,
but you have to throw it to a spot. And the one thing I see I'm comparing Browning and Trevor, he doesn't gun every throw. It seems like every throw has a gun. You have to have different speeds. You have to have different speeds on your throws, where not every throw has to be just jammed in there.
Lightning fast.
Yeah.
And that's
what
the
they
one
talk
thing
about,
I
putting
see.
that touch on it.
The touch, and that's,
like
Mark Brunell, beautiful touch. But he could gun it in there.
Yeah.
But like when he threw that crossing ball, it was to a spot.
Well, and if it's, I mean, because here we're saying like, oh, wait a minute, now they, it's too hard of a throw. You know what I mean? Like now we're really softening up. I don't mean it like that, but if it's hot and not in the right spot, then it's even more difficult to bring it down.
And that's when they ricochet into other people's hands too.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to wonder too, when they're breaking this film down yesterday, is it just Trevor's timing that's a little bit off with throwing the football, or is it the receiver? Is his hips not turning at a certain point in time. The footwork for him, is it not exactly where it needs to be?
There's a clock in those receivers' heads when they have to cut their route. When they're making the break, when they're turning around. It's in their head, and that clock has got to be on the same clock as the QB's clock. Now, if you have time, you don't have to worry about anything else. It's just your two's clock. When you get pressure, clock speeds up. And it speeds up in your head. It speeds up in So it all is based on that timing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
So listen, this isn't all on Trevor. It's not like, Trevor this, Trevor that.
Yeah.
It's together that they've got to figure this out. And it's not just Brian Thomas Jr. It's the other guys as well. Like, Diami, man, he had a really good game, minus what? I mean, you just got to make that catch. Brian Thomas, I don't care if he threw it late. It doesn't matter. You got to make that one catch. You have to.
We see players across the league make those every single week. And yes, sometimes they get, bruised ribs in the making. But at the end of the day, they still make the catch because they know that's their job.
I don't even mean the one where he just alligator armed it. I meant the one by the end zone, where you just catch it, man. Don't look upfield. That's what he was doing. He's trying to make a play. He takes his eye off it. You got to secure that ball, man, before you do anything. And that would have been a first down. And then who knows what happens after that.
Absolutely. All right, let's get it to the defensive side because the defense also let this town down. We will do that with Bees on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels. Backed by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, so here's a reminder to get screened. Ackerman Urology has 4 convenient locations to help you put your prostate health first. Guys, don't put this one off. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then, strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
I'm Chris Campione. Veterans have given so much in the service of our country, but when it comes to legal challenges, you shouldn't have to fight alone. At Campione Law, we're here to help veterans like you get the support and compensation you deserve. Whether it's a workplace injury, a personal injury claim, or navigating a veteran's disability claim, we'll stand by your side every step of the way. Your service to our country matters. Let us serve you with the dedication and respect you deserve. Call Campione Law for a free consultation today. Campione Law, fighting for veterans, fighting for justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Campione Law.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here. You've heard me talking about Pella Windows and Doors. With great ratings and expert reviews, you know they're high quality and energy efficient products. So what's your next step? Schedule a free consultation at PellaJacks.com or just stop by the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. Their professional design consultants will guide you through your entire project from start to finish. And that's the quality and service you can expect from Pella Windows and Doors.
Hidden Hills Golf Club wants you to know that our fall twilight rates are here. Plenty of time to get your round in before sunset for just $35 on weekdays and $39 on weekends starting at 2 p.m. Visit hiddenhillsgc.com to book today.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS right here in Jacksonville is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE Neograft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, Aaron Beasley, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you, breaking things down when it comes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, we've gone a half an hour and we haven't talked about Travis Hunter. What have you seen, Bees? Travis Hunter on offense versus Travis Hunter on defense, and then we'll get to the defense at large.
Well, when I watch offense, it looks like they just use him as a gimmick. You know what I mean? I don't see him playing like a true receiver. It's like those little screens and like, can we put him out wide and see him run a route? And that's the thing that I was saying. I feel like he's probably better at DB because I don't think he's polished as a route runner. And I mean, you see these DBs nowadays, they study this game. And, like, to read him would be easy to me just because I feel like he's not as polished. But on defense, I mean, he can get hands on people. I just rather have him at defensive back because, I mean, if you think that touchdown we did give up to T.
Yep.
There was no hands on it. It was a free release.
I know.
And that's the timing that a receiver and quarterback work on. They do their little dance, and he throws it to that spot. If you don't get him off his train tracks, it's a throw at practice.
Yep.
And that wasn't Travis, but I just feel like he can help us better on defense. I mean, we can line up and probably let him shadow everybody.
Well, on the PI call, he did a great job, being presser man on that guy. I mean, he was right there with him.
Bad call.
Yeah, it was a bad call. It was. We were talking during the break. The problem is that ref, whatever he's called, the side judge, whatever he is, he's outside the line, the play, outside the playing field, and his view is like you don't see the inside that's going on because the players are in the way. And if you go watch where he's standing and he sees Travis, because on the outside, Travis's arm is outside him. Now, he's not pulling him or grabbing him or really doing anything, but it is outside of his body, and he throws the flag because I think that's all he sees. He doesn't see that was really nothing. Like that they were hand fighting on the inside all the way down, and you should have let him just play it.
And it's not reviewable. It was reviewable for a year or so. in the NFL,
maybe it should be. Bees had a good idea, adding another ref to see the inside, because then you could go and be like, no, they were good.
Just hand fighting.
They were hand fighting the whole way, and they both did their thing, and we're good.
And that's why last week, too, I said I hated that the defensive pass interference in the NFL is at the spot because it's too much of a judgment call. And especially if you don't have guys that can see both sides of the play, you're costing people 30, 40, 50 yards sometimes on a play you couldn't even see fully.
Yeah, to do it on the offense, too, then. With the offense pass interference, it should be a 30-yard penalty back.
Yeah.
I felt like I saw a lot of offensive pass interference out of the Bengals on Sunday.
Oh, and that's that referee angle, what I was talking about earlier.
Yep.
You can't see that hand fighting from there because they're pushing, and if they push, they get leverage on us to actually give themselves an extra yard sometimes if you got a guy with long arms, because what you're doing is you're using his body to push you a little further, and then what happens, the ball's thrown to that spot, there's no way he can make that play. So if he can push, I should be able to grab his hand. I mean, that's what should have been called nothing.
Right. And then it comes down to what they can see. I mean, look, Campbell on Higgins later, it was great, but he did hook his arm, but the ref didn't see it.
Right.
And even the announcer's like, well, if he doesn't see it, he ain't going to call it. I mean, it goes both ways. That was right before the series before the Travis, PI call that he said that. And he's like, hey, they're all over the place. Sometimes they see it, sometimes they don't. Either let them play or you don't. You know what I mean?
And that's coming from someone in Logan Ryan, who obviously played DB at the NFL level. as a defense overall, we praised Coach Campanile a week ago against the Panthers. Obviously, they really, to me, had the field goal, and then they kind of got lucky in garbage time with that touchdown. So we thought aggressive defense played really well. Then you let Jake Brennan go 90 yards with this Bengals offense. Granted, they have some special playmakers, but with this type of defense as far as getting to the quarterback, and they looked like they had pressure consistently all day, at least they probably had a little bit more pressure against Joe Burrow, but they still got some pressure against Jake Browning. But what did you see on that 90-yard drive?
A lack of pressure. But just feel like, I don't know what it is, but us against second quarterbacks, we don't do too well.
Yeah, the backups.
The backups kind of come in there and kind of do what they want against us. But, I mean, it's just, we have to make the plays. We have to get off the field. We gave up a couple third downs on that drive. But, like, as I'm watching now, you know, we got guys making a lot of money getting beat, you know.
Yeah.
But I just feel like our defensive backs have to be more physical at the line of scrimmage, because it won't help our pass rush if they're just getting these free releases. Because, like the last time we did play Jake Browning, he was getting rid of the ball quick, and he wasn't going to allow us to, like, get him on the ground. And that's what he did right there. Same thing, same game plan.
And because it's a new staff, they probably didn't ever go back and watch that 2023 game of the Jaguars defense against Jake Browning.
I would. I mean, sometimes you go back and try to. I mean, because that's the same coordinator, same offense. You want to see what your guys or what you did against, you know.
But they obviously expected Joe Burrow to play all game, and that's who they game planned again. It would be my guess.
Well, I wouldn't watch.
Well, they did. I
would just watch the offense.
You know.
I mean, because they're not going to change the offense. They might have some more limitations.
Yeah.
I feel like it's the same offense. He just is a different quarterback where he doesn't play it as dangerous as Joe. You know, he's a lot more safer when he plays, and he throws the ball quicker.
I think on defense, rewatching it again, I think we got too conservative. And then when you try, look, and in Camp's defense, like, look, the complimentary football is not there. You know, the offense gets you a lead, and then 3 plays later, they score a bomb because you give them a free release. I'm bringing the house. I'm bringing the pressure. Granted, they picked it up, but if I jam that receiver like I'm supposed to and he's got nowhere to go, guess what happens? He double clutches and I get a sack. But you don't get that. So, like, you're not helping your coordinator out. You're not helping your team out whatsoever. And those things can drive a coordinator crazy because he'll go, well, if I do it again and they do it again and my guy doesn't jam him again, I'm going to look like an idiot. So what do? I go more conservative. I go zone. I mean, look, after the PI, he went back to chase, and Travis is off coverage by 8 yards. So there is no and then you got no pressure.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to stop that because it wasn't like they were killing us all over the place, pushing us around or anything like that. It was that we couldn't figure out a way to disrupt that passing timing by them, and they just picked us apart. They went right down the field and picked us apart.
How much do you think it was because, I mean, multiple factors. Tyson had good and bad moments in this game. Jarian gets kind of beat up. He looked like he was hurt. Thank goodness he came back out. But then we've heard players and coaches say how they're going to push Travis Hunter. If you're playing both sides of the ball, we're going to try and wear you out. We're going to try and make these things happen. And it definitely looked like they started doing some of those things. They weren't as scared as the secondary as what it felt like towards the end with Jake.
Well, I would say that the front, like you just said, the front and the back work so much together.
Yeah.
And the time clock, if you don't disrupt that time clock, then it's going to be easy pickings. And then we got guys, like you said, 8 yards off. I got cussed out for that a couple times.
Yeah.
I understand that. But it's not that you're playing so far off. Sometimes you're just playing.
Well, you could be telling you to keep everything in front of you. Like, there's no big plays, no big plays.
Yeah.
We just got beat by a big play, so let's not have a big play against us, you know? I could see that, maybe.
Guys are human, you know?
Yeah.
I know.
You get beat, you kind of feel embarrassed sometimes. And
I guess I thought the addition of guys like Jordan Lewis and Eric Murray would make sure that what happened late against the Bengals on Sunday didn't happen, that those guys would be able to take command of this secondary and they'd fix whatever these free, receiver issues are. But at the end of the day, it happened.
It just comes down to that player knowing exactly what they have to do at that precise moment. You know, Tyson Campbell's got to know I can't let him off the line freely.
Because
it's simple. I got to know that.
When I watched that play, it wasn't even that he motored out or anything. He just hopped and just let him go. And that it's like you just open the gate. We call that open the gate.
Yep.
When he does, they do a little dance at the line. But he saw him open up. He just took off. And all it takes in this game up here is one shoulder in front of somebody.
Because you get 5 yards.
Because the quarterbacks on this level, when open is my shoulder on top. In college, you may be a yard behind. But these guys throw the ball with such precision and such timing and throw to this spot that we're talking about that all it takes is me getting my shoulder on top and I win.
Right. And there's not the free release. Yeah.
We call that a stack when you stack somebody.
Right. Absolutely. I was just going to say look, it's his second game calling, DC Campanelli, right? Campanelli. It's his second game calling. He's going to learn from it. I don't like, and I said this yesterday, he ran a couple zone blitzes where by Josh Hines-Allen or Trayvon, it was 2 different times, they had to get to the flat. And it's just not their game. And they're late to it. And that's why it was that one running back, it was a zone blitz. Trayvon dropped, but he was late. It's just not his gig. And then it's a free run right up the sideline, that fourth down or whatever for Chase Brown. And then it happened on the other side. No, Josh ended up, I think, catching up to him and pushing on, but still a good gain.
He's already out leveraged.
Yeah, it's you just forget those.
Cross X. Cross X2E.
Take those out of the playbook.
We did that. Yeah. We had a blitz like that with Brackens and our DM would drop. But they just let them drop straight back and get into the quarterback's lane and protect them in the flat with me or Fernando.
Yep.
And it's
2-5.
2-5 live. It's hard to chase a guy to the flat when he has momentum. When you're taking a step to pull that tackle to block you, and then the guy's running full speed and you're trying to get to the flat, you can never win that race.
Yeah.
Nope. And that's not, like you said, that's not what they're supposed to do. That's not what they're designed to do. All right, Bees, how's football going?
Well, I would say our issue is kind of like the Jaguars' issue, you know? We beat ourselves.
Gotcha.
We made them punt. Our first punt goes over our head. We got a little young 9th grader trying to punt. He tries to kick the ball twice, misses it. They pick it up, score.
Ooh.
Then we score a touchdown. And our kicker, who's our punter, and he's not really good at kicking. Squib kicks it right to the guy right in the middle. And it looked like just the splitting of the Red Sea. Touchdown. I mean, it's like we have a young team, and it shows. We beat ourselves. We turn the ball over, penalties. And what does that sound like?
That does sound familiar.
Sounds familiar.
All right, come on, Duval Charter, be better. Bees, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah, I'm about to go coach him up.
There you go. Maybe work on that kicker. All right, Taylor's Tangent. There you go. Taylor's Tangent is on the other side. It's 10 to Next on 92.5 FM.
1010XL is your home for play-by-play of Bishop Kenny football.
The Crusaders go fishing for barracudas at Beachside. Thursday night at 7 on 92.5 FM.
Big number 1 Duval Ford is trusted by Duval families, Duval businesses, and law enforcement across Florida. We're Jacksonville's largest Ford dealer by new Ford sales with the biggest service facility to keep everything in your driveway and in your fleet on the road. Shop Big number 1 Duval Ford on Cassett Avenue for our low prices and nationally recognized service-first experience. Big number 1 Duval Ford, proudly serving North Florida since 1916.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Fought for you by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Hey, Niall Lawrence Stample, national champion and owner of NLS Cleaning here, where we offer pressure washing, gutter cleaning, and paver sealing, plus window cleaning. Football season is back. Get 20% off your first service when you mention this ad through September 30th. Call 708-8802.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On September 16, 2018, Patrick Mahomes sets an NFL record of 10 touchdowns in the first 2 weeks of the season, recording 6 touchdown passes and a road victory against the Steelers.
When you need plumbing, septic, or air conditioning service, trust matters. That's why more homeowners in Jacksonville choose Duck Duck Rooter. From small plumbing repairs to major renovations, we do it all. Visit DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter. When you're stuck, call the Duck.
Helmets and Heels is returning to Vegas. If you're heading out for the big game, join us at Circa Resort and Casino this October for a Halloween weekend football getaway, featuring Circa room discounts and a huddle up for everyone in the teal and black. Meet Helmets and Heels Friday night, October 31st, then hit the Circa Stadium Swim with temperature-controlled pools and a massive betting screen. For Circa room discounts and more information, visit the 1010XL webpage or circalasvegas.com/huddleup-up.
Hacker here, and this past week during the fifth quarter, I had a listener come up to me and say that my story about Awaken 180 weight loss, my journey with Awaken 180 weight loss, had inspired them, and they made the call to Awaken 180 weight loss. They were beginning the program that they hoped would change their life, much as it has changed mine. Awaken 180 weight loss has changed my life for the positive, and I love that I can tell people about Awaken 180 if you need to lose weight like I certainly needed to, and if my story inspires you to make the call, it'll be the best call you will ever make. It's the best weight loss program I've ever been on. The coaching you get, the guidance you get is absolutely spectacular. Take it from somebody that lost over 100 pounds on Awaken 180 weight loss. If it's time for you to regain control of your life, go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800. Guys, if I can do it, you can do it. Awaken 180 weight loss.
It's the start of our favorite season in Jacksonville, football season. Let's get hyped and let's get the home in tip-top shape and let's get that house zero-resified. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, they'll take care of you. Call the folks at Zero Res right now, 287-5727. Ask for the 1010XL special. Get your 3 rooms of carpet cleaned at $139 plus a 4th room free. Zero Res. Spell it forwards or backwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Zero Res.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Bees for joining us in studio every Tuesday afternoon and talking all things Jaguars. Learn a lot from that guy.
Yeah.
From that former NFL player. We've got another former NFL player here with our former linebacker, Tom McManus. Taylor Dahl is here. RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. And right now, Taylor Dahl has a tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
I have a clip to play today that I want you guys to listen to. Show and tell today. Yeah, so it's kind of college football related, but it was just something interesting that I was not aware of. So going back to this weekend of the Tennessee game, obviously Tennessee versus Georgia, fantastic game. I feel like it was everything we would have wanted that game to be. But I want to play this clip first because it kind of shows some insight of how students are able to go to the games if you are a student at Tennessee, and it was kind of interesting. So RJ, will you play the clip?
I did not have enough T credits.
How does it work?
So you get T credits by going to other sporting events and staying a certain amount of time, and we don't go to those.
How do you track the time?
They have like your geolocation on your phone. So like you check in and it gives you a point if you're there long enough.
So you have to attend other sporting events if you are a student at Tennessee to be able to go to a Tennessee football game. And you have to calculate points. The campus has your location, I guess. You check in and it gives that geolocation. It shows how long you were at one of these sporting events. And then that is how you rack up points to be able to go to the football game. It's interesting. I get they're like, we need to give the other sporting events some love. And I'm sure that's part of it. And then it's just a little strange when it comes to being like, okay, the campus has your location and are tracking things you're doing. I know people will probably start getting a little weird about that. But just wanted to get your thoughts on kind of how that's going.
I always feel like somebody's watching me. You know what I mean? Like,
they are.
They are, aren't they? Everybody's watching us.
I guess when I was in college, we had student IDs, and I don't know if that's the case now. So in theory, we could have just scanned a student ID, and that would have checked us in, and then I suppose scanned it back when leaving to make sure that you were there for the period of time. I've heard of other schools having a reward system. Yes, if you attend we'll call it the Olympic sports. And I think that is important to give, like you said, those other teams love. It's tricky when you do have 100,000 seat stadium, and I don't know Tennessee's exact percentage of fans, but I would guess it's like 60,000 alum and or other fans, and like 40,000 students would be just a guess. And so it's going to be hard to figure out. Some places just do it as a lottery system. But I love the idea of go to a women's basketball game, go to a baseball game.
Field hockey? Do I have to go to a women's field hockey game? No, listen, we were lucky at BC because hockey was awesome. So we wanted to go to the hockey games. They were one of the best in the country every single year. In 92, we had 7 Boston Colleges guys on the Olympic team. I mean, they were just unbelievable in hockey and fun to watch. Basketball is fun to watch because Alonzo Mourning would come to town with Georgetown. You watch guys like that. Syracuse had a couple big-time players that were awesome players, you know.
A lot of Big East in the show today.
Yeah, there's a lot of Big East today, but I guess, I don't know, you should support the others. I guess it depends what you like, though. I mean, I don't want to be forced to have to go. I'd go watch lacrosse. I think that's pretty awesome. I told you the other day, well, a couple weeks ago, I watched college women's volleyball, and I was like, man, this stuff's intense as heck.
It is.
I'd like to be live there. Like, that would be really fun to watch. So, and it was like the top, I think Nebraska, who's got a really good program. But still, I was like, man, this is really intense, if you give it a try. But, I'm not going to go watch cross country run by and get a point.
See, right now, too, because I know we've obviously done shows at lacrosse and different various sporting events, golf and things like that. So it's like at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday, you have to go make sure you check into one of these games so you can go to the football game that weekend. It's a little weird to me, but I get they're wanting to spread the love. But it's also, I wonder if some people have gotten to the point where they're like, hey, my buddy's going to this golf event anyways. Take my phone, check me in, and check me out at the end.
Yeah, I wonder if there's people on site that are ensuring that the students are actually only using their own phone. Or
I don't know if you'd be able to with 40,000.
It really seems like a terrible job.
Bring my phone with you. Just bring it back.
To be one of the people that work at Tennessee, to be having to monitor
about that.
Yeah, all these students, the thousands of students.
You come in with 10 phones. My buddies need some help. They need a point. You're going to help them out.
They're online. Yeah. Right now, Florida, they would probably be getting points for going to the Florida football games and having to wrap those up for the men's basketball.
Please go to the football game.
Because men's basketball is what everyone wants to go to. But yeah, good tangent. I hadn't thought of that at any time recently, probably since I worked at UNF. But yeah, right now we've got lunch to give away.
We do. Free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010 and you get free lunch to Chick-fil-A. Let's say caller number 3.
Call number 3, 641-1010, and you get free lunch from Chick-fil-A. I want to keep the Jaguars-Texans conversation going. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Get hit by the man in the back, Tommy Mack.
I'm bringing you straight to the gridiron to show you what it's like to put on the Jags helmet and pads.
Fridays on Jaguars Today. Unlocked by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors on 1010XL.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save up to 20% on roof replacements and repairs now through September 30th. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting. Protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Hey, Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We are a community that takes care of each other. Hey, this is Tom McManus, former Jag. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated, and we are J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Helmets and Heels.
From the Greenlaw Group Studios.
Jacksonville is my hometown, and nobody knows roofing like me. I'm Ronnie, the owner of Brandon Roofing. We handle everything from repairs to full roof replacements, start to finish. We give honest quotes, use quality materials, and clean up like we were never there. We all look at Google reviews, so go ahead and check out ours. We're proud of all our 5-star ratings. I would say we treat you like family, but some people don't like theirs. Go to BrandonRoofing.com today to schedule your free roof quote.
License number CCC 1328006.
Learn everything you need to know about the Jaguars on Duval Rundown. I'm Hayes Carlyon. Join me each Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at 9:04. You can find Duval Rundown on all the social channels of 1010XL.
Driven by Jacksonville Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Westside.
Have you ever dreamed of owning a handcrafted cabin tucked into a 1,000-acre regenerative farm? Well, now you can. This is Frank Frangie for the farm at Okefenokee, just an hour north of Jacksonville in Folkestone. With only 250 cabins at full build-out, it's a rare chance to live off-grid, but not alone, in a community grounded in nature, food, and purpose. The amenities include a 2,300-acre hunting lease. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Life doesn't wait, and neither should you. Aleve can help you deal with pain less throughout your day. Whether it's a long day on your feet, a demanding workout, or everyday aches and pains, you need relief that can keep up when pain persists. Aleve is here for you with longer-lasting body pain relief compared to leading OTC-branded pain relievers. With just one pill, Aleve lasts up to 12 hours. Don't let those aches hold you back from doing what's important to you. Use as directed.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative, here to share with you an actual client review.
Dude, these shirts are sick.
Check out the shirts and other sick promo items at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Right now, they're on their way to disrupt your life, make you uncomfortable, and rob you. Don't bother calling the police. They can't help. That's right. Summer heat and humidity are about to attack North Florida again. You know what to do. Call Mike Merritt. Mike Merritt's Heating and Air has a license to chill. When heat and humidity are attacking you, Mike Merritt provides a comfortable chill at a bargain price. Mike has been keeping North Florida comfortable for 30 years. Mike Merritt technicians are never paid commissions, meaning you'll never be pressured to buy something you don't need. And Mike Merritt knows cooling issues can arise anytime. They don't just happen during business hours. So Mike Merritt never charges overtime fees. When you need us, we're here for you. Remember, in the fight against heat and humidity, Mike Merritt has a license to chill. Visit merrittair.com. Florida license number CACO 50384.
Duval Fence is looking for the best in fence installers. Check out DuvalFence.com right now and fence in a great job opportunity. From estimates to installers, they're looking for you right now. Log on to DuvalFence.com for all the details. Equal opportunity employer.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by TopDressing.com. The Florida State Seminoles move past their first bye of the season as they get back to work this Saturday in Dope, kicking off against Kent State at 3:30. The Shrimp start a series with the Norfolk Tides on the road beginning tonight at 6:35 with left-handed pitcher Thomas White on the mound. It's 87 degrees at 3 o'clock time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Lately, I've been thinking, I want you to be happy.
Shout out. Thanks to listener Rod for stopping by.
Yes,
with some
thank you, Rod.
lumpia for us.
All right.
I love some lumpia.
Oh,
Same
yeah.
here.
Yeah,
Thank you
heck yeah.
so very much. We are
Absolutely.
so very thankful.
We love snacks.
We do.
We
I do.
really do. Literally, I love football season for so many reasons. Even when my teams lose, I still love it. One of the reasons is we talk about all week, like, all right, what are we going to make this weekend while we're watching football?
Yeah.
And the first weekend, we had a really good dip that I tried to recreate exactly the one my mom made growing up, and that was like the taco beef layer dip.
Okay.
Absolutely delicious.
Yeah.
Not because I made it, but because basically it was what my mom made growing up, and I can vividly remember watching Gator games and eating that specific dip. And then Brian made a black bean dip. He had already made black beans.
Yeah.
And so made that into a black bean dip. It was so good.
That's the best thing about dips too, is
I
you
know.
can just use what you're like, what can I make
what
a
do we
dip
already have
out of?
on hand?
Yeah.
Absolutely. You add a little seasoning, you add cheese.
Yeah, you're like, here's a dip.
Yeah.
Add cream cheese to most things and it's a
Correct.
dip.
Cream cheese goes in every dip that we
Oh,
make.
yeah.
That's for sure. And then our friend made the sausage rotel dip
Oh, yeah.
in the crock
That's
pot.
delicious.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. Super
The
good.
spicy sausage too.
Yes. Chorizo.
Oh yeah.
I was solo this Sunday because my
That's
girls were
right.
down in Orlando with my wife for the Tate McRae concert, and I ate a lot of meat. I had some steak, I had some chicken.
At Meathead 55.
I don't know if I had any greens at all, but it was tasty.
I don't think Brian would eat vegetables if it wasn't for me
Yeah.
forcing them.
Oh,
on
I
him.
actually like. I like
love
him. I
veggies,
just
too.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't feel like it.
I mean,
get
guys are
enough.
meat and potatoes, you know.
Yeah.
All right, time now for Tom's
I'm a guy.
takeaways.
I guess.
Now,
Okay, it's go time.
Tommy's Takeaways. Jacked up by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We are here for you. Veteran owned and operated.
All right, my takeaway today is, hey, it's Tuesday, which means tomorrow is Wednesday and the start of your week. If you're a Jacksonville Jaguar, getting ready for the Houston Texans. They're coming in limping, and we got to put our foot, like my father used to say, step right on their necks, Tommy, and keep going if they're on the ground. And we got to step on their necks this weekend because they are a rival. We know the history, and we'd like nothing more than to forget about the Cincinnati Bengal loss by you kicking the crap out of the Houston Texans. So get to work on that timing, know your playbook inside and out, make sure you're conditioned all the way, and let's bring home a W for the hometown crowd this Sunday. That's my takeaway, brought to you by J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
I was interested to hear what Liam Cohen said yesterday when asked about Azeez Al-Shaair and what happened last year. Honestly, like, it would have been okay if Liam was like, yeah, we're not even going to talk about that. But I was glad he said, yeah, we've already talked to our team about that.
Yeah.
Like, this is not something where this team can really be focused on getting revenge for that one play and that one dirty hit last year. This team has to focus on.
I think sometimes that helps though.
Well,
Look what the
I
Lions
feel
just
like-
did to the Bears for revenge.
True. I just feel
sometimes
like
you
they
need
have
that.
to make sure that they're aligned properly and not having those illegal shift
course, yeah.
penalties. They have to make sure that the timing's there. Like we talked about the whole first hour between Trevor Lawrence and his receivers. Like that to me is the focus. And then yes, on Sunday, if you want to have Yasir Abdullah go after Azeez Al-Shaair, well, they wouldn't be on the field at the same time. If you want to have Brenton Strange or Hunter Long
Yeah.
or Johnny Munt go after Azeez Al-Shaair, then by all means. But I feel like they just have a lot of things that they have to focus
work
on
on
this
first.
week.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, when you're talking about a team right now that you're trying to shift this culture into something else, and we talked about this yesterday, of this is going to be a big sign, a big kind of indication of how far they've come, because you lose the way you did against the Bengals to a backup quarterback. That's all the conversation is right now. Even you barely lose on the road, and the conversation is about how you blew a lead and how Brian Thomas Jr. can't catch any balls and all of these other things. So can you get over those things? And I do think that's part of it. But I also want to see I want to see how Baker was last night towards the Texans, and he doesn't even have that personal vendetta against him like you do here. But it's good, like, to have your guys kind of stand up for the other teammates and for what they're doing. And I feel like, so I would kind of like that, because there is extra something else in this game right now. It's not just, it's a divisional game, obviously. CJ Stroud went around a world tour and ran his mouth about how great he was and he was a top 5 quarterback. Use all of that as motivation is what I would want to tell them.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if I'm Liam Cohen, it's more wink, wink. Like, yeah, don't do anything illegal. Wink, wink. Just make sure you ear hole him if you get a chance and take him out of the game.
Are you showing that play to the guys that weren't here last year?
I don't know if I'm showing that play, but I just talk. I don't want to show it because my quarterback's there. He might have
Trevor,
nightmares.
close your eyes.
Put a towel over Trevor's head for a second. We're going to show this head. No, I wouldn't show him the hit, but I would talk about it. And look, the guys that would hear, they know. It's in the back of their mind. They're not going to go out of their way, and they shouldn't. You don't want to cost your team. Like, you don't want to get ejected for fighting or anything like that. But if you got a chance to put a little extra mustard on a hit or, an extra shove after, a run play or whatever, yeah, I hope they get after it. Listen, they got a good defense, Houston. That's the only thing that's been keeping them in any of these games. Their offense is not very good at all, but their defense isn't too bad. It's not best in the league, but it's pretty darn good overall. So, you got your hands full. But, yeah, it should be a physical game. And if you got to go after him a little bit, I'm all for it. He hurt your QB. I mean, look, if it's a family thing, you go after him. You know what I mean? I mean, if someone beat up one of my brothers, I'd probably go after. If someone, you know what I mean? Like, if someone did something illegal to somebody, I might want a little eye for an eye type thing without spending too many nights in jail, that type of thing.
There's 2 guys on the offensive line that didn't see that play live. There's 2 running backs on this team that didn't see that play live. There's 2 tight ends on this team that didn't see that play live. And there's multiple wide receivers.
I got it. Yeah. You know who you show it to? LeQuint.
Okay.
That's what I was
just him.
Right.
Just like we want to show you something real quick.
Right.
Right before the game, and he'll go after him.
And that's what I mean.
But if he gets kicked out, you're not totally ruined for the whole game.
Just go get him, LeQuint. We don't care what happens.
Jarian was one of the ones that stood up too. So there's players in that locker room that haven't seen it, and there's players that were furious after that. And so I do think this combination, maybe Jarian's having conversations of how angry he was. He's like, man, I got ejected, and I was like,
and then my coach didn't stand up for me.
Yeah.
My goodness. Yeah. Liam, I feel like, would never do that. But yeah, that's where I just wonder the balance this week of focusing on the things that, they've been shooting themselves in the foot, obviously. And then, the focus on this is revenge. This is also a team that is 0-2 coming to your house.
Very
you're
beatable.
you're wearing Prowler uniforms. So your crowd hopefully is going to clearly have your back and be obviously very loud. And so is this also one of those games that, you are talking about that openly? I haven't been in an NFL locker room other than interviewing players, so I don't know how they were going to go.
I'm sure the old linemen are talking. I mean, look, again, you're not going to go out of your way because you don't want to cost your team anything too bad. You know what I mean? But you're very aware of where he is. And if you got a shot to knock him a little bit, you're going to take that shot.
He came out of the game for a few plays last night.
I saw
but
that. Yeah.
I don't
know what even happened to him.
Every beat reporter that I read for the Texans.
Aziz did.
Oh, yeah, Aziz Al-Shaair did. They just said that he came out of the game. He was being looked at by trainers, but there was
I saw the play. Like the foot clipped him in his chin or something. Maybe, I don't know. He clanged that jaw together can kind of ring your bell a little bit. So maybe that was it. But look, you don't even need the, Shahir talk to get fired up for the Texans.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they've owned us. That's what you should show them. Show them how they've beaten us, throughout the years. And we got to change that.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that we're taking care of business, especially at home.
Yeah. Show them the Trevor Bank game and be like, this is what they did when we changed the name of the state.
That's right. That was when Trayvon threw the quarterback down real late, right?
Yeah.
That was great. I mean, it wasn't great because it cost us a penalty. But at the same time, it's like, all right, I like the kids' feisty.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're going to have your secondary certainly play better against a guy like Nico Collins than they did against Jamar Chase. Chase is better than Collins, but still, Collins has been successful against this team, and the Texans haven't been able to really run the football. So you'd like to think that the Jaguars defense that have been pretty good against the run the first 2 weeks, that continues.
I think Travis showed that he could play press and man. I'd like to see more of that. Playing off coverage is really hard. I mean, I don't care how athletic you are. You're reading and reacting. You got to guess sometimes. You might guess wrong. But if you're not used to it, like when he was covering Chase on that one, he didn't feel that. Like, get him up on the line. He's athletic enough. He's strong enough. I want to see him, try to disrupt some things and disrupt that timing. But I think he showed, at least I know it was a PI, which should have been called, but it was. He showed that he can run with those guys, because that's one thing I wondered. Can you go bump and run with these big receivers? That guy's not Collins big, but he's big guy, and he handled him pretty good. So I'd like to see more of that.
All right, we'll keep the NFL conversation going on the other side. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
A great drive takes more than a set of wheels.
Fully loaded, I think is the term.
Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville brings you the drive of the game.
Just one thing. Yeah. Don't push any of the buttons on that car.
On 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or your business, you don't just need them out, you need them out quickly, and you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they will show up for you and eliminate pests quickly, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
Helmets and Heels.
Backed by Green Law Group.
For the insured.
Fighting for you.
Maxed out on credit cards, struggling with high interest debt? You could pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Prosser here. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan Program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated their kitchen, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. That's a huge turnaround. Instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. That's Loan Pronto. Listen, your home equity is yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Call Loan Pronto now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto is an A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and have nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call now and start the conversation. Go to loanpronto.com or call 999-1508. That's loanpronto.com.
Discuss the beautiful game. The Coaches Show presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor. Get an hour of soccer talk Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Attention ladies. The Ladies Florida State Championship is returning to Best Bet Jacksonville from September 18th to the 21st. Highlights include a World Poker Tour mega satellite, a free Q&A session with the Poker Hall of Famer and First Lady of Poker, Linda Johnson, and Women's Poker Hall of Famer, Jan Fisher. It includes the $300 No Limit Hold'em Ladies Championship Tournament and the $200 Kings and Queens No Limit Hold'em event. Don't miss this action-packed weekend. For all the details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Tired of high energy bills? Replace those inefficient windows and patio doors now with the big BOGO event. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 18 months. This offer expires September 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Frank Frangie telling you about Awaken 180. You know, my daughter has done so well. I'm so proud of Amber. Can you believe she's lost 50 pounds in 2 months? And she's really proud of that. You can as well. Call 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farrah doesn't flinch.
RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Pretty sure this is Florida-Georgia line. Sure
sounds like
it. If it's not them, then it's one of them, like Tyler Hubbard.
Oh yeah, do they do things on their own too?
Yes.
Okay.
The last few years they've split and had both solo careers.
What's the other one? Brian Kelly.
Yeah. Yes.
I was like, it's somebody I hate.
Because Dabo Sweeney, there was a funny story a few months ago that Dabo Sweeney thought that Brian Kelly, the LSU head coach, had his wife has a shop there in like Rosemary Beach, but it's Brian Kelly, the singer's wife, who has the store.
That's funny.
and there was like a sign like Brian Kelly will be performing tonight, and Dabo texted
was like, "What?"
Brian Kelly, the coach, and was like,
What are
"Looking
you
forward
doing?"
to this tonight." And Brian Kelly, the coach, was like, "What?" And their last names are spelled differently.
Yeah.
Brian Kelly, the coach,
Has an E.
has
The
one
other
E,
guy has
and
an
the
E.
other guy has
Yeah.
2 E's. The singer. So yeah, obviously it was Brian Kelly,
That's
the
so
singer,
funny.
that was going to be performing. But yeah, that's Dabo for you.
Oh, yeah.
Dabo not having nearly as much fun as when he was regaling those stories now that his team has lost twice. But we're not going to talk college football right here. We're going to talk some NFL. Time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane, driven by Mazda at the Avenues. This is luxury. This is Mazda at the Avenues.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the coach of the year last week, the favorite to win it, was Liam Cohen after the way the Jaguars looked against the Panthers.
According to who?
The odds makers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, betting.
Odds makers.
Betting.
Now, it's Shane Steichen. We already had to deal with the
Fitting.
Colts and Indiana
Yeah.
Jones winning the first 2 games of the season. And now the Colts are at the Titans. They're most likely going to go to 3-0. And I'm a little concerned about the Colts, whereas in the offseason, I wasn't concerned whatsoever because I really thought Anthony Richardson would beat out Daniel Jones. And I don't think is as good of a quarterback, honestly, as DJ. And yet here we are. They ended up going with Daniel Jones because they ended up with another injury. And now, again, Indiana Jones has led them to 2 victories and has looked fantastic.
Yeah. I had a little bit of concerns already just because I think they have a good team. Their defense is good. Last year, they got really beat up on the defensive line, so it didn't show, especially down the stretch. But they have a lot of players and playmakers defensively. They bulked up their secondary. Also, this last offseason, you talk about Michael Pittman and you talk about Alec Pierce. I don't think people talk enough about him, honestly, sometimes. And then you add Warren, and then you talk about Jonathan Taylor. So Tim, in their offensive line, we talked about was really good last year. They lost some pieces, but still most of the people, like offensive line gurus, were still saying it was going to be a top 10 offensive line. And so I just thought the quarterback had to be okay, and they were going to actually be able to be decent. But the quarterback's playing more than okay, so their offense looks really good. And does that last all season? I don't know. You've seen little bits of this from DJ in the past where he'll have a game or two where you're like, oh, okay, he's finally figured it out. The game slowed down and then things kind of fall apart. Right. Is that going to happen again? Because we had the same thing with Sam Darnold, for example. It was like every week it was like, it's going to fall apart eventually, and then it never did. But now it has kind of come back to earth on a different team. So I don't know. I think you need more games to prove to me that this is a season-long thing and not just kind of like against Denver, I feel like is a really good test. So you do have to start giving them some credit in that. But can Daniel Jones play at the level that he is right now? If so, the Colts are very scary, honestly.
Yeah, I think us three and probably a lot of people listening had them third going into the season in the AFC South, right? You would be us in a Texas, or you thought you knew Tennessee probably would be fourth, and that Indy would be third, and their foundation is there. I thought they would be third because Anthony Richardson would be starting, and I didn't think he would do that much this year. Obviously, Daniel Jones, he brought in to kind of, settle things down, insurance policy. But listen, he's a capable enough quarterback to win ball games for you. He's not going to carry your offense, but they're not asking him to either. They got a running game. They got some weapons. Just deliver the rock. Don't be efficient. Their defense is doing really well. They're only giving up 18 points a game, so they're right there. I would expect them to beat Tennessee. And look, and again, like you said, it's early. So, we've seen teams, including here in Jacksonville, look great in the first 8-9 weeks, and then ding, 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 the ship starts sinking, and you never know what can happen. But, hey, credit to Daniel Jones, because a lot of people are like, he's nothing, he's terrible, blah, 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 blah. He's just like, I'm just going to go out there and do my best. And, credit to him until they play us, and then hopefully we rattle his cage and – they do have to play Anthony Richardson. No, I'm kidding. But he's done a good job, and they've got a solid foundation as a team. I don't know about Coach of the Year, just like Coach here for Liam after 1 week. I don't know. But, look, they're proven to be at least an early, formidable team within the division. So we'll see how it works out for them.
I feel like Todd Bowles has to be in the Coach of the Year conversation if the Bucs' trajectory continues, obviously another 2-0 team. And because he has lost his offensive coordinator the last 2 years in a row, and yet
he keeps doing it.
Right,
Yeah.
his team continues to play really well. There's a few guys, obviously a Kevin O'Connell. Not that his team looked that good this past weekend, and especially now with the injury to JJ McCarthy, but after week 1, you thought, okay, this is, just a plug and play type of system for him. Kyle Shanahan, what happens? Mac Jones came in this past week.
Right.
And obviously the 49ers won. Can Mac Jones continue that? Obviously the Jaguars will play them in 2 weeks. And we certainly hope that he doesn't play well at that point in time.
Yeah, I think with Todd Bowles, too, you have so many things you have to give Bowles credit for when it comes to the in-game coaching and all of the things he's been able to do, the team he's built. But you also have to give him credit for his hirings because, to your point, they leave and he finds another one that comes in and it doesn't look like there's ever really a drop-off. And it's not like Baker, the offense doesn't look quite like it did last year, but I also think you're easing some things in. Godwin's not playing right now, and Emeka Egbuka looks fantastic. He's so fun. Bucky Irving still looks like he's a top running back in the league. So it does look like they've done a lot of good things and built that for the future and not just, I feel like maybe some people were like, oh, now they have an old defense because when it was Devin White and all of these guys and you felt like it was on the tail end, they've just been able to keep going. And so I do think you got to give a lot of credit for that. The interesting story to me, or stories, I guess, this season is on the flip. Like which head coaches would you say people are worrying about the most right now? Because I feel like it's 2 names, and the first ones that pop in my head are Mike McDaniel and Brian Dable, who are 2 guys who we were just less than 5 years ago saying these are 2 of the best coaches. Could be a coach of the year and then one of the better play callers.
I think Dable, the guy in Miami over him as far as hot seat, because Dable went toe-to-toe with Dallas. I don't think many thought he would. And Russell Wilson played out of his mind. So I thought going into that game, you're going to maybe switch to Dart, at some point because it's just not working out. But now you can't. Now you're like, all right, Russell, we're going to roll with you. So, I mean, he's still got a long ways to go. Don't get me wrong. Brian Dable does, and they got to turn it around. But I think going toe-to-toe and, with the Dallas Cowboys showed that they're not that far off. Miami, I think they're a mess.
They are a mess.
They're
and that's why we need more than the first just week or 2 weeks even for the sample size. You need more like 4 to 6 weeks in the NFL because it's a 17-game season. Yep. I was looking at the Chiefs' schedule. The Chiefs could be 1-3 when they come to Jacksonville for Monday Night Football. Ooh. The Chiefs are at the Giants this Sunday night. Yes, the Giants played better, but I'm going to guess that the Chiefs get off the schneid and win their first game.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the Chiefs play host to the Ravens this following Sunday at 4:25. I feel like the Ravens win that game. And again, there's so many things that could happen between now and then, obviously. But that would mean that potentially the Jaguars could have a better record than the Chiefs on Monday Night Football.
That would mean Taylor Swift's probably not coming to Monday Night Football. I would imagine.
Yeah. Oh, no. What are we going to do? Did you see her leaving? They had like I don't even know what this is called. It was like a wall, pretty much.
Was that? Like a divider, right?
Yeah, it was like this divider that unfolded so that the media couldn't see her when she was leaving after the loss the other night. I was like, come on, you want to show your face when you guys are winning everything.
Right. I did not see that, but.
Maybe her mascara was running from all the crying.
She was crying.
You never know.
Yeah, well, Travis Kelce, it's been a rough couple weeks for him. And this is his swan song, too. So
he looks slower. He really does. It's just, and I don't know. I mean, we already, I think we're at the point with Travis Hunter where you're like, you're deep in the career. Like he's kind of done everything. We were already talking pre-Taylor Swift. Are we getting towards the end of the Travis Kelce everything? And then Taylor Swift came around and all of it felt like it maybe intensified a little bit. But it is interesting because, I mean, we talked about the issues they've had with wide receivers, not being able to keep them healthy most of the time. Yep. And so then you don't have Travis Kelce, who's been the saving grace for Patrick Mahomes for a lot of these years, especially once they hit the postseason. So if that end of the line isn't playing well, if things like that start to crumble, then I don't know, especially with the teams they have to face and the schedule they have this season, how winnable a lot of these things are for them.
And Rice is out still, right? He's got the suspension.
Yeah, he had 6 games. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so a lot of people were upset because Chiefs players were wearing like free Rice shirts, and it's like, the reason he's in trouble, right? Because he was speeding, going 119 miles per hour, and ended up causing a lot of people to get hurt. But that's neither here nor there. All right, a little college football talk for you. I've got some updated college football playoff projections now that Week 3 is in the books. We've got Tulane at LSU. This is in the first round, so these are the ones on campus. LSU would play host to Tulane, which is crazy to have a New Orleans team going to Baton Rouge.
Right.
Florida Green
State,
Wave. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Green Wave, yeah, exactly.
Florida State at Oregon, so that would be certainly a long trip for FSU to take on Oregon. Yep. Utah at Notre Dame. Obviously, Taylor, you would be thrilled if Notre Dame makes the playoff. The chances aren't looking great as of now, but we shall see.
Okay.
And then Texas at Illinois, which would be crazy if Illinois ends up playing host to Texas. I'm not sure that Texas even makes the college football playoff.
Right.
And then for the quarterfinals, Penn State versus Oregon, Georgia versus Notre Dame, Ohio. So I feel like that would be one of the better games we've seen. Ohio State versus Texas and Miami versus LSU.
Yeah, there's so much football left. It's hard because I feel and even with Notre Dame last year that we lost in Northern Illinois week 2 and made it to the national championship. So I don't think they'd think that after barely losing to 2 of the better teams in college football that they feel out. But you do got to win. I mean, you can't lose another game, and honestly, you're going to have to really heavily beat some of those lesser opponents to even to have that chance. Yeah, but I don't know. Like even looking around college football, and I was thinking about this Saturday as I was watching these games. I guess Georgia, because you're going to put Georgia in that conversation until they're not there. And I don't think this is nearly as good of a Georgia team as we had seen in, the previous years. Tennessee, I think you'd talk about right now as being one of the better teams. Florida State, I'm guessing you're putting up there in Miami, but I feel like there's a lot of there's not a lot of college football teams right now where you feel like they feel complete and that they'd beat anybody.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like Ohio State, we've seen some flaws with Ohio State. At least week 1, they only put up 14 points on Texas, and now we've learned Texas isn't as good as what they were billed to be. Penn State is one of those teams that because it's so early in college football's schedules I'm not going to call them trash, but some of them are really frustrating. Yeah. But the good news is starting next week, Penn State has a massive game playing host to Oregon. Okay. Yeah. But through the first 2 weeks of the year, and Penn State has a bye week this week, and we've already lamented that we don't love the 2 bye weeks. Yep. Penn State has played host to FIU and Villanova. Right. So, I can't tell you how good Penn State is or isn't to this point. And like I said, bye week this week. Yeah. And then we've got Penn State playing host to Oregon. That's an exciting matchup. And later in the season, we'll have Penn State, Ohio State. So, good stuff there. But college football again this week, it's still not nearly as exciting. And that's where the NFL gets its dominance because of all the parodies. And pretty much every single game in the NFL, there's something to be excited about.
Yeah. And
that's why Tommy wants to change the college football landscape.
Well, look, nothing against Penn State, but who'd they play? And how do you know they're number 2? And why do you even rank? Don't play those teams. Just don't play them. Play the and that goes for everybody across the board. Yeah. Play the toughest. So you maybe have one warm-up game. Okay, fine. You have a warm-up game. I don't care. Don't make it Long Island University. But, make it a warm-up game. That's fine. But then from then on, if you're trying to find out who the best in college football is, well, then make it to where it's like that. Yeah. Like every team's got to warm up. The rest is conference.
Play a Power 4 or a Group of 5.
It's tough.
For instance, these are some of the games this weekend. Yeah. Tennessee plays host to UAB. Florida State plays host to Kent State. Ole Miss plays host to Tulane. Georgia Tech plays host to Temple. And LSU plays host to Southeast Louisiana. Those are Texas plays host to Sam Houston. Vanderbilt plays host to Georgia State. Once upon a time, that might have been tough for Vanderbilt, but not anymore. Yeah. Those games they shouldn't be on the schedule. I understand what you're saying, but as I always say, those teams couldn't afford to keep up their football programs if they didn't have some of these guaranteed games.
Well, and that's why I think, too, that's when you talk about the rankings and how you even do it and the difficulty of actually being able to put these, especially in the same month. And all 3 of us have agreed to wait at least till that first month of football before you really have an idea of what any team is. But is it really, and that's when people start to ask, is it really the number 2 team in the nation? Is it really that much better that you lost to 2 teams that nobody really cares about, or you barely lost to 2 top 10 teams? That's where what is the sense there, because it doesn't make much to me.
My metric is I'm going to weight who Notre Dame played in the close losses over who Penn State's played at this point in time, because one is considered more of that top tier, and those other teams are not even close. Yeah. All right, the Terminix Pest of the Day is on the other side. It's 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
Post-game Monday is like digesting a huge day of football.
Let's do this.
Expert analysis of Sunday's game all day.
It's not great. It's fantastic.
Sink your teeth into Dandy Foods Post-game Monday.
So delicious.
On 1010 XL.
When you're a little kid on the playground, they tell you don't hit back. Well, the courtroom isn't a playground. And if you've suffered an injury or death in your family, I'm here to tell you it's okay to hit back and fight to make them pay. I'm attorney Brett Hastings, and at Hastings Injury Law, we understand all the pain and emotion that comes with being wrong. And we've dedicated our lives to making things right for people like you. So if you get hit back with Hastings Injury Law. Offices, Jacksonville.
Lauren Brooks here. I went to Hello Smooth Med Spa in St. John's last week, and I cannot say enough good things about their facility and their staff. I had my first laser hair removal treatment ever, and I'm happy to tell you it was painless and it took just a few minutes. Plus, I started a new skincare treatment, and I'm already seeing results less than a week, and I've gotten compliments. With over 10 years in the community, 400 5-star reviews, and the latest technology, their team makes smooth, stubble-free skin easy. Packages include 9 sessions, and you will see results fast. Right now, enjoy 50% off laser hair removal packages, and be sure to let them know Lauren from 1010XL sent you. Visit hellosmooth.com or stop by for your free consultation. Your skin will thank you.
Helmets and Heels, provided by Green Law Group.
Jax is more than a city, beaches, suburbs, or a destination. We're a community that takes care of each other. I'm former Jaguar Tom McManus. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling is dedicated to serving you with respect and integrity. We haul construction debris or property cleanouts for managers, owners, and realtors. We do it all. Call 506-1256 for your free estimate today. We're here for you. We're veteran-owned and operated. J-Dog Junk Removal and Hauling.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, Jason, thanks for coming over so quick.
Sure thing, pal. What's the big...
Whoa! See, I told you there was a smell.
Yeah, it smells like...
Exactly, or a dead one more like it.
You need some fresh air in here.
Well, this is the problem, Jason. I've kept everything sealed up tight all summer long so I don't lose all my nice cool air. Now all the dog smells and cooking smells and home gymnasium man cave smells are all building up and I can barely...
Dude, where are the Bueller sunglasses I gave you?
Oh, I don't know. They must be in my other...
Put on my emergency pair.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing can install an air purification add-on to your existing air conditioner. Clean the air of dust and pollen and funky smells while you cool.
So I can keep all the cool air I saved up?
And your place won't smell like a dead...
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Now, the Hurricane Report. Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
The University of Miami absolutely dominated the USF Bulls on Saturday, winning 49-12. They were led by running back Mark Fletcher Jr., who had 16 carries for 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. The largest win against a ranked team since 2001 for the Hurricanes. The Hurricane Report brought to you by Performance Painting.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees, about $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by November 6th.
Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Get ready for the 4th annual Sizzlin' Soiree, presented by Dunkin' Donuts, October 2nd at the Fountain of Youth in St. Aug. Enjoy barbecue, live music, auctions, and surprises while supporting kids-safe spaces and life-changing programs. Get tickets at bgcnf.org.
Cross are here for lifetime enclosures and lifetime flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you, jamming out to some Michael Jackson. I was thinking about one of the teams last night elevated a player from the practice squad named Michael Jordan, and I couldn't remember which team it was, and that's what came in my head when MJ started playing. But yeah, it goes back to our conversation of who was more famous, Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson.
That's right.
I think
That's so
Michael
funny.
Jackson, by the way, ended up winning. In a landslide. That's what I think because of just the global.
Did we include
impact.
Nike though? I can't remember if we included
we
Nike
could include
into
Nike.
the mix.
Yeah. But I still think at the height, certainly, of his popularity. But either way, time now for today's Terminix Pest of the Day is always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. They come to our house and they treat any sort of issues that we have, whether it's ants, whether it's mosquitoes outside. They do such a fantastic job. They can do the same for you, your home, or your business. Find them online at Terminix.com. That's TERMINIX.com. They also take care of Everbank Stadium. So if you'll be there Sunday, you will make sure, or you will see that they make sure that it is pest-free. ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. All right, I'm sure y'all saw this on social. The Bengals fans. First of all, we should have beaten them on Sunday, but we've been talking about
Not
that
the way
last
they
2
were
days.
beating each other.
Correct. But the way that those fans attacked one another right after Joe Burrow's injury, I mean, this is not normal behavior in the stadium. And I know that fistfights go on in stadiums probably every weekend, but I don't think that's a good idea. Like, you're literally watching older gentlemen beat each other right into the face. And it's not a good look, I feel like, for your fan base to be beating each other up. Like, fistfights that occur are typically opposing
Between
fans versus home fans. This one was literally all Bengals fans, a lot of them wearing Joe Burrow's jersey. Like, yes, he got hurt. That sucks. He's went on IR today. He's going to be out for most of the season. But why would you then make it worse by beating each other up? Yeah, beating each other's faces.
Yeah, obviously we don't know what was said or done. There's been a few this year, though. Did you see the one where the man hit the woman? It was a man and woman that got in a fight, and the woman's face was busted, gushing blood by the time security showed up, and she was going after Houston fans. Yeah, I mean, she was going after it too. She was defending herself, but she got it pretty bad. I've seen several in the Bud Zone of fans on fan, like the Jags on Jags. And opposing, unfortunately, alcohol and whatever, you get upset and somebody bumps into you or spills your drink or whatever. It's usually that type of stuff that spirals. It's usually not like the game that does anything to that,
right?
But it is. It's just like everyone's there to have a good time. We don't have to get to that level.
Yeah, that's so dumb. I don't know. I mean, look, I'm all for a little fisticuff now and again, but not when it's over that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That just seems so stupid. Why would you fight over a football team? I can see opposing. That's different. But on the same, what's the point? And look, I don't know. You got to be careful today. I'll take it back to, the story of Richard Collier, who got his foot. He told me this story himself. His foot gets scuffed at a club. He punches the guy. The guy goes home and grabs a gun and shoots him 14 times and follows him. Like, you never know what people are capable of. You bump a little bit, you do this, I don't know. It's better to dissolve unless you really have to defend, but you should never. I mean, come on, man. I mean, if I got in a fight at a football game, I'd be really upset just to the fact that I got in a fight. I'm like, come on, really? Yeah. I'm going to fight over our team? Like how stupid that sounds.
And usually you're getting kicked out, so you just spent all this money to go to a game. It's not cheap to go to a football game.
And there was a divider between them, so I was like, are they in suites? Like, are these even like the higher paying individuals that are going at it at this point in time?
Oh my gosh!
But I did see this tweet from Trevor Sikkema, Taylor, and obviously I thought of you. Jameis Winston is QB3 in New York. He would throw for 5,000 yards in Cincinnati. And I don't think he's joking by any means. Jameis also might, if you're going to make a joke, throw 50 interceptions in the season. But it did make me wonder. Obviously, Jameis Winston, to this point, I don't think is better than Jake Browning, at least what we've seen as of the 2 times that the Jaguars have faced him up close and personal. But I did wonder when they did bring in some backup quarterbacks today, the Bengals did. But should they trade for Jameis?
No. I love Jameis, but I saw somebody also in that same realm say Jameis Winston and Malik Neighbors would set every NFL record because it would be 50 touchdown passes, however, blah, 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 but also 45 interceptions is kind of the joke around that. But Jameis has a way better arm than Jake Browning. So if you want to be able to have the same type of get it down to Jamar and just let Jamar do the work, then it's better option. But what you've seen in Jake Browning and being able to kind of more game manage that offense and get the ball out quick and just be a little bit more efficient and not make a ton of mistakes. Well, he turned the ball over too, but so I don't know. It's Jameis, that's part of it. You take the arm and you take, like, yes, he'll have a lot of touchdowns, but also can you afford to be able to have somebody who turns the ball over the amount of times they did? Some teams can. I mean, with the Green Bay when they were with Brett Favre turned the ball over all the time, but they were good enough to overcome that. I don't think the Bengals are.
You say 5,000 against our team or just in general?
Just
what are we
in
talking
general
about
this
here?
season.
I love Jameis, too. I mean, his personality is just phenomenal and what he does out there. But I think they're pretty comfortable with Jake Browning. And, look, he threw a nice ball on that one touchdown pass. I mean, that was about 40 yards in the air. You don't have to throw 80. You don't have to throw 60, whatever. You throw whatever you can do. He throws it on anticipation. No, he's not going to carry the team. I don't know if I'm Cincinnati, it's two ways to look at it. Like, we're so far from being a contender, you think, especially with Joe out. But then you got these superstar players. You got to feed them, But I think they'll stick with Jake.
Their backup right now is Brett Rippon. So that's the question is, would Jameis Winston come to that team and at least be better if something were to happen to Jake Browning and
be QB2 for the year?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah,
but I'm guessing they would also have to give up draft capital to get Jameis, even though he is the third string quarterback. New York's not going to just let him go just because you need him.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's another reason they have him too is they're not sure what's going to happen with Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, and things like that. All right, we got one segment to go here on Helmets and Heels. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels.
Brought for you by Queen Law Group on 1010XL.
PRP treatment is kind of the thing these days, and in many cases, it eliminates the need for surgery. This is Sheridan Tootin, and my experience with PRP from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has been nothing short of great. I'm really feeling much better now. Ask your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist doctor about PRP treatment.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
When you need a mechanic you can trust, call Sam, Harry, or Joe at AA Automotive on Richard Street. From oil changes to complex engine repairs, AA Automotive promises expert service and honest pricing from a local family biz. AA Automotive on Richard Street.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
Resto Pros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
Resto Pros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsAnyFlorida.com. That's RestoProsAnyFlorida.com.
Resto Pros!
Prosser here again for Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts you can trust. You might think you have a struggle ahead, but Chad and Sandy always have a solution, and ultimately it ends in a success story. Jacksonville area homes are selling, but getting the right price requires aggressive marketing and proven systems. Hiring the experts who know how to create demand is crucial. You need Chad and Sandy Newman. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, stress-free. But, man, they deliver with the promises. The local real estate experts you can trust. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Oh, and the proof is out there. Tom and Nicole in Mandarin. I got a new job in Louisiana. We found a new home. Now we'd have to sell fast to avoid paying 2 mortgages. Chad and Sandy did it. Use them today. ChadAndSandy.com. That's ChadAndSandy.com.
Yo, it's your main man, E to the T here with a quick message from Twin Peaks. Did you know that Thursday, September 18th is National Cheeseburger Day? Let's celebrate with a seasoned smash and seared to order cheeseburger, topped with your choice of cheese, and pair it with a 22-ounce Coors Light or Miller Lite all day long. Not in a drinking mood? Grab a cheeseburger and pair it with a tea or a soda. Say hello to one of our favorite holidays at Twin Peaks on Atlantic and Kernan. Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, scenic views. Come on, somebody.
Hi, Frank Frangie for Ricketts Electric. Any good lineup needs power. When we needed power at the Bregan Baseball Complex and all the fields we have at Fort Family Park, we trusted Ricketts Electric. You're going to love these guys. The Ricketts family has been providing commercial and residential electric service for years. Call my friend Zach today at 904-320-5960. You can also find them on Facebook and at RickettsElectric.com. Ricketts Electric, the city's best power connection. Call them today at 904-320-5960.
Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to I-9 Sports with fall and winter registration open right now, including girls volleyball at Duval Charter Bay Meadows, plus plenty of other spots and sports on the First Coast. I9sports.com. Enter 1010 for a discount.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
I wanted to share something quick because we were talking about Dabo Sweeney earlier, and right when we finished talking a little bit about college football and Dabo, this popped up. It was a quote, and I asked you, I think last week, do you think that Dabo is starting to get a little bit hot? But I guess this was somebody asked him today at one of his press conferences about, kind of that world, the hot seat, and if Clemson may be done or if he's on the way out, whatever the case may be. But he said, if they want me gone, they can send me on my way. If they're tired of me winning, they can send me on my way. I won't stop. I'm 55. I'll go somewhere else and win. I ain't going to no beach. We've won this league 8 of the last 10 years. Is that good? I've got a long memory in case y'all don't know.
Wow. So what have you done for me lately, world there, Dabo? Yeah, I mean, look, and he's probably right. Get rid of me. Fine. I'll take the money, and then I'll sit out maybe for 6 months, and then I'll go get another job. Someone's going to want my
Alabama
services.
may want, depending on what happens with Kalen DeBoer the rest of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know that Alabama would be knocking on Dabo's door, but Dabo obviously played football at Bama, so that's his alma mater, and he has won 2 national championships. Kalen DeBoer did not.
I always feel like if you got to defend your record, there's something wrong. You know what I mean? There's some missing.
It reminds me of Steve Spurrier when Steve had won the national championship, and then in the early 2000s is when he ended up leaving Florida. But there were a couple years in between the 96 championship and when he ended up leaving that he was unhappy because he felt like the Florida fan base was too spoiled.
Yeah.
And the moment that the team lost one game, they were all hot and bothered. And he's like, I don't want to coach for a fan base and he didn't use the word toxic. That's the word that's been thrown around the last few years. But he didn't want to coach for a fan base that was that spoiled, that got upset, that much after just one loss. And so obviously he ended up going on to coach at South Carolina, and that fan base was thrilled when they won 11 games under him. Right. I think it was 2 or 3 seasons. And look, I get both sides. I get Dabo being frustrated that you are questioning him, but he also hasn't adjusted, right? Nick Saban was so good as the head coach of Alabama because he ran the football a ton. And then when it became better for college football to have the spread offense, he changed the spread offense and he got some of the best receivers in the game, and he got those stout offensive linemen for both systems. And he was willing to go to the transfer portal, or I think even if he was the head coach now, he would have dipped into NIL in that fan base and gone more into the transfer portal. He was never going to stay stagnant, and it feels like Dabo Sweeney has stayed a little bit more stagnant and hasn't adjusted.
Yeah, and I mean, time goes by fast, to Tommy's point, when you say, what have you done for me now? That 2018 was 7 years ago now, and you talk about since then what has changed in the college football landscape, and what has changed feels like he hasn't been able to keep up with that part of it when it comes to portal and NIL and all of those changes. But then I think you look at examples. I mean, Ryan Day, this time last year, we were having the conversation, is Ryan Day going to lose his job? And then especially when they lost to Michigan, and then he won the national championship. So I do think that sometimes it's this weird gray area of how long do you wait, but you do need to start seeing some being able to adapt with time. And as college football is changing, you want a coach who you feel like is not saying you have to go get all portal guys. I'm not saying you have to be Norvell and have your whole team be portal guys and hope that you're hitting on that all the time. But you would hope that if you're talking about a team who's in the ACC, who a lot of people say is a lot more winnable, also, you would think that you would start to see some adaptability. And I think people get frustrated that they just haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I think like Spurrier, say they just got out at the right time. I don't think they wanted to deal with all this. I couldn't imagine, and I'm glad they got rid of the second portal date, but just you got your team, and then you got people calling your players, trying to get them. I mean, it happens all the time. I was at BC. They're like, even for them, they'll get calls. They're like, hey, come over to my school. We'll give you $500,000. We'll take care of your family. You know, you're battling this all the time. Yeah. You know, now look, the NIL kind of was the equalizer, I think, because, because teams can, everyone wanted to go to Bama back in the day. Whether they paid them or not, I don't really care, but you wanted to go to Bama. You're going to win a title. You're going to the pros. You're playing for one of the best college coaches of all time. It's an easy sell. Well, then once you get all this NIL and everything, now it's like, well, wait, come to Ole Miss. I'll give you $5 million and a penthouse and all the girls you want. No, I'm just kidding. But,
by the way, the playoff has expanded, so we have a shot of actually getting in there.
That's right. Absolutely. So it's look, it's not easy. Hey, they get paid very well. But for Dabo, you can't rest on the laurel. I'm not saying right now, but it depends how many years down the road. If they're not vying for that title, you guys want the title. I get it. It's nice that BC only got to win like 8-9 games, and you can have a career forever and get paid about $3-4 million a year. Life's pretty dang good. By the way, your kids go to school for free there too when you coach there, so not a bad gig. But
the only downside about that only one portal is when it's still during the college football playoff. So that's why a guy like Ryan Day isn't in love with that. All right, let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
What'd you think of the Texans losing last night to the Bucs, Hayes?
It was glorious. I mean, the thing that really stood out to me is how bad Houston is, because how often are you going to have a team miss a 36-yard field goal, whatever it was, very short field goal, have a punt blocked, and give up a 53-yard punt return, and you still don't win that game in your home opener? So, I mean, obviously, it's going to be first 1 to 20 if either team gets there on Sunday. But I'd be shocked if Houston goes up and down the field, because offensively, they're just a mess right now. And not that that's a big surprise. And defensively, they're really good. So it's... I feel like the Jaguars have a little bit more balance. I mean, they're leading the NFL in rushing. Defensively, they're leading in takeaways. So those are two very strong elements to winning football games. So really excited to see how this matchup plays out on Sunday. But, I mean, honestly, Tampa tried to give the game away, kind of did, and then Baker rescued him at the end, and he's so much fun to watch. But
they've been lucky both weeks. Tampa Bay has,
without a doubt. And again, I do think it helps the Jaguars that Houston's first two games were against the Rams and were against the Bucs. Liam Cohen knows the McVay system inside and out, so he'll be able to take what worked, what didn't from that game, and then obviously he's very familiar with the Bucs personnel. And so, I think that'll really help. So, some intangibles that I think are working in the Jaguars' favor, but, history is not. They're 2-12 in their last 14 against Houston. So, got to turn that around. And I think this is a big game for the toughness of the Jaguars.
Agreed.
And so, should be a lot of fun. We'll certainly get to that coming up on the Frangie Show. We'll also have our first Scholar Athlete of the school year. That's always a lot of fun. Cool. We'll do that at 4:30. And Jeff Danzler will join Frank to talk SEC football coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. So should be a fun Frangie Show.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks, Hayes. All right. That'll do it for us today. For Taylor Dahl, for Tom McManus, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, and we will turn the page.
We will.
No more talking
Houston,
about,
baby. Houston.
Yeah, no more talking about the Jaguars lost to the Bengals.
Seeing red.
That's right. Well, we want to.
Well, they're red,
we want to make them bloody, right, Tom?
Yeah, bleed all over their faces. Especially Shahir, I hear.
Aziz Al-Shahir.
Yes, Al-Shahir, yes.
Yeah, that guy. All right, these heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show, not bloody.